You're not going to believe this.
Emma grabbed the wrong suitcase at baggage claim. Same black case, same yellow ribbon. She didn't notice until she opened it and found a child's inhaler, a tiny sock, and a crayon drawing that said, "Dad, please don't be late." Her stomach dropped. A small mistake. Easy fix. So why did returning that suitcase lead her straight into Ryan Carter's life and somehow become the best thing that ever happened to her? Before we begin, subscribe for new stories every week and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one. Emma Hart was exhausted, cold, and running on pure nerves. Tomorrow morning she had a final round interview, her only real shot at starting over in Chicago. She needed sleep. She needed calm. She needed one simple night with zero surprises. At O'Hare, the baggage carousel delivered a row of near-identical black suitcases. Emma watched for hers. Black hard shell, one scuffed corner, and a bright yellow ribbon tied to the handle. When she saw the ribbon, she grabbed the case without thinking and rolled it toward the exit, already rehearsing answers in her head. Outside, the pickup lanes were a tangle of headlights and shouted names. She got into a rideshare, hugged her interview folder to her chest, and stared at the city lights until the hotel swallowed her. In her room, she kept the lights low, kicked off her shoes, and unzipped the suitcase to grab a sweater. Instead, she found an inhaler. It was tucked carefully into a side pocket, like it mattered. Next to it sat a tiny sock and a folded sheet of thick paper covered in crayon. Emma unfolded it slowly. A stick-figure dad held a stick-figure little girl's hand. Above them, in uneven letters, "Dad, please don't be late." Emma's stomach dropped. She looked again at the inhaler, then at the suitcase lining, then at her own hands like they'd betrayed her. "This isn't mine." She dug deeper, hoping for some explanation that didn't exist. A child-sized backpack tag, fruit snacks, and a small metal star keychain, worn smooth, stamped with two initials, LC. Emma flipped the luggage tag. Ryan Carter, a phone number. She didn't think long enough to talk herself out of it. She called. The line rang twice. "Hello?" A man answered, breathless. Behind him, traffic, a distant horn, the sharp edge of panic. "Ryan Carter?" Emma said. "My name is Emma. I think I took your suitcase by mistake. I just opened it and there's an inhaler and a drawing. I'm so sorry." "Where are you?" His voice wasn't rude. It was urgent, like he was holding himself together with his teeth. "I'm at the Lakeshore Hotel, downtown," she said quickly. "The inhaler is here. It's safe." A silence, then a shaky exhale. "That's my daughter's. She has asthma." Emma's throat tightened. "Is she okay?" "She's with my sister," he said. "But I'm supposed to pick her up, and I can't be late again." The word again carried a whole history she couldn't see. Emma glanced at her interview folder on the desk. Tomorrow was supposed to be her life-changing. But the inhaler wasn't tomorrow. It was now. "Tell me where you are," she said. "I'll bring it." "No," Ryan snapped, then softened. "I'm at the airport. I'll come to you. Just please don't move anything." "If you're already there, you shouldn't cross the city first," Emma said. "Let me meet you. 10 minutes. Where?" Another pause, like he was choosing between pride and reality. "Gate 5, he said. "Rideshare pickup, under the canopy." "I'm coming." She grabbed the suitcase, ran downstairs, and threw herself into a cab. The whole ride back, the yellow ribbon bounced with every bump, bright as a warning. Emma kept seeing that crayon message in her mind, like it was speaking directly to her. "Don't make this worse." At the airport, Gate 5 was chaos, idling cars, impatient drivers, cold rain misting under the lights. Emma spotted Ryan immediately. He stood near the curb, phone in hand, scanning faces like he was searching for air. Early 30s, dark hair damp at the edges, a dark green jacket, a tiredness that looked older than his age. His eyes caught the yellow ribbon. Emma hurried over, holding the suitcase out with both hands. "Ryan?" He took the handle, then stopped like he remembered she was human. "You actually came." "Of course," Emma said. "Your inhaler." He didn't wait. He yanked the zipper open and reached straight for the side pocket. When his fingers closed around the inhaler, his shoulders sagged hard with relief. "Thank you," he breathed. Emma started to apologize again, but Ryan's hand went still inside the main compartment. He pulled out a flat manila envelope, stared at it, then flipped it open. Empty. The last of the color drained from his face. "No," he said quietly. Emma's heartbeat spiked. "What is it?" Ryan dug through the suitcase again, faster now, pushing aside clothes, the toiletry bag, the drawing. He looked up at Emma with a stare that was half shock, half fear. "My custody papers," he said. "I need them tomorrow morning." Emma went cold. Then Ryan's gaze sharpened, landing on the obvious question he didn't want to ask. "And your suitcase?" he said slowly. "Where is it?" The rain under the rideshare canopy felt colder now that Emma knew what was missing. Ryan held the inhaler like it could vanish again, and the empty envelope sat between them in his mind like a threat. "I didn't move anything," Emma said. "I opened the suitcase, saw the inhaler and the drawing, and called you." Ryan's gaze stayed steady on her face. He looked exhausted, but not careless. "Then the papers are either in your suitcase, or they fell out somewhere between check-in and the curb." Emma swallowed. "I never got my suitcase. I grabbed yours at baggage claim and left. Mine might still be inside, or someone took it." That hit them both at once. Emma checked her phone 12:11 a.m. Her interview was at 9. Her suit, her shoes, her notes, everything she'd planned to control, all of it was inside that missing bag. Ryan rubbed a hand over his jaw. "Tomorrow morning I have a custody conference. My lawyer needs the signed packet. If I walk in without it, my ex's attorney will eat me alive." Emma didn't know him, but she understood that fear. "Okay," she said. "We'll find it." They moved through the sliding doors into the terminal heat, walking fast, shoulder to shoulder, like they'd known each other longer than 10 minutes. Baggage claim was mostly empty now. The carousel had stopped. A tired airline worker pointed them to baggage services, a small office that smelled like printer paper and old coffee. Behind the counter, an agent listened with the flat patience of someone who had heard every version of, "I took the wrong bag." "Black hard shell," Emma said. "Silver moon-shaped tag, purple strap around the middle." The agent typed, "Name?" "Emma Hart." Ryan leaned in. "Ryan Carter. The bag she took is mine. Same flight." The agent's eyes lifted. "The one with the yellow ribbon?" Emma's cheeks burned. "Yes." "You'd be amazed how many people do that," the agent said, then turned the monitor slightly. "We have one unclaimed bag from your flight that matches yours. It was pulled aside for security." Emma's breath caught. "So it's still here?" "Maybe," the agent said, "but we need ID to release it." Emma patted her coat pockets and went cold. "My wallet is in the suitcase." Ryan's voice cut in, sharper than he probably meant. "She's not lying." The agent didn't react. "We can open it for inspection with a supervisor present. If your identification is inside, we verify and release it." The supervisor led them to a metal table in the back. The suitcase was there, black, scuffed corner, purple strap, still tight around the middle. "That's mine," Emma said, and the relief made her knees weak. The supervisor cut the strap and unzipped the bag just enough to check. Emma saw her wallet immediately, tucked beside her folded blazer. She snatched it, hands shaking. Then Ryan went still. In the side pocket, half hidden, was a manila envelope. Ryan pulled it out, flipped it open, and the papers slid into his palm. His shoulders dropped, the first real release Emma had seen from him all night. "They were in my suitcase?" Emma whispered. Ryan didn't answer. He was already flipping pages, counting, checking, faster and faster. Then his face changed again, like the floor had moved. "No," he said. Emma's stomach tightened. "What?" He held up the packet, and his thumb tapped the end like it hurt. "The signature page," he said. "The only page that matters. It's gone." For a second he closed his eyes, searching his memory instead of the paper. "I had it on top at check-in," he muttered. Signed, clipped with my boarding pass. Lily was tugging my sleeve. I was trying to keep her calm. I shoved it into the side pocket without looking. Emma pictured a busy counter, a distracted hand, one sheet sliding free, a mistake inside a mistake. The supervisor cleared his throat, uncomfortable. If you think an item was lost in the terminal, you'll need to file a report. Ryan barely heard him. His phone buzzed. He looked down, and the glow from the screen sharpened his expression. A text from his sister. Lily won't sleep. She keeps saying, "Dad, please don't be late." Ryan's jaw tightened. He looked up at Emma, and for the first time his focus cracked into something raw. "I have to pick up my daughter," he said, "and I have less than 9 hours to find that page." Emma's interview suit sat neatly folded inside the bag, a reminder that her own life was waiting for her to choose it. She grabbed the suitcase handle anyway. "Tell me what the signature page looks like," she said, "and show me where you checked in." Ryan didn't argue, he just moved. They walked fast through the late-night terminal, the kind of speed people use when they're trying not to fall apart in public. Emma kept up, suitcase rolling behind her, wheels clicking over tile seams. Every time the sound changed, she thought of one thin sheet of paper sliding under a counter, vanishing into a crack that would ruin a family. "At check-in," Ryan said, eyes forward. It was a single page, white. My name at the top, my ex's name below it. 2 signature lines. I signed in black ink. Emma nodded, trying to picture it. Was it in an envelope? No, I had it clipped. I remember holding it while Lily asked for water. His mouth tightened. Then the agent said my bag was overweight. I shifted things around. I put the packet back. I thought it was all together. They reached the airline counters. Lights were dimmed. Most kiosks were dark. A security guard leaned against a pillar, watching them approach. "Can I help you?" he asked. Ryan explained quickly. The guard listened, then pointed. "Lost items for this area go to terminal services, but at this hour, you're not getting access behind the counter." Emma stepped in. "Is there any chance it got swept into a bin? Or under the scale?" The guard's expression softened a fraction. "You can look around what's public, that's it." It wasn't much, but it was something. They scanned the floor near the kiosks, under the rope lines, around the base of the baggage scales. Emma crouched to look beneath a brochure stand, her coat brushing the tile. Ryan checked every corner with the intensity of someone searching for a pulse. Nothing. Ryan's phone buzzed again. He didn't even look at it this time. He stared at the closed counters like he could will them open. Emma stood, forced herself to breathe, and tried to do what she did when she was afraid, make a plan. "Okay," she said, "we expand. We retrace your steps, from check-in to security, from security to the gate, then the gate to baggage claim. If the page slipped, it could be anywhere." Ryan let out a short laugh that wasn't humor. "That's half the airport." "Then we start with the most likely," Emma said. "Places you stopped, places you pulled papers out, places you set anything down." He looked at her, really looked, like he was surprised she was still here. "You have an interview," he said suddenly, voice low. "You don't have to." "I know," Emma said, "but I'm already in this, and I can't unsee that drawing." Ryan's throat worked. He didn't thank her again. He just nodded once, like a man accepting help, because the alternative was worse. They moved toward security. The checkpoint was closed, lanes roped off, floor freshly cleaned. A janitor pushed a cart nearby. Ryan approached him with careful restraint. "Sir, did you find any papers here tonight? A single page?" The janitor paused, considering. "I found receipts, boarding passes, no big papers." He pointed to a small lost items box taped to a podium. "If anything, it goes there. But they empty it every morning." Emma checked the box. Crumpled scraps, no signature page. They walked on, tension tightening with every dead end. Emma glanced at her phone. 12:47 a.m. The math was brutal. Sleep was shrinking into nothing. Ryan stopped near a vending machine and dragged a hand through his hair. He looked like someone who hadn't had a real break in years, only pauses between emergencies. My sister's going to kill me, he muttered. Emma's voice softened. Your sister sounds like she's been holding things together with you. She has, Ryan said. Since Lily's mom, since everything turned into court dates. He swallowed. Lily thinks it's her fault when I'm late. She thinks if she needs something, she's making it harder. Emma's chest tightened. She thought of the inhaler, the sock, the quiet evidence of a child who had learned to worry too early. Let's get her, Emma said. Now, we can search while we drive. Ryan's head snapped up. What? You said she can't sleep. That means she's scared, Emma said. We'll pick her up, get her settled, then we keep looking. We call the airline when they open. We file reports. We do whatever it takes. Ryan stared at her, as if she'd offered something he didn't allow himself to expect. Support that wasn't transactional. Then he exhaled. Okay. Outside, the rain had thinned to a cold mist. They found Ryan's car in short-term parking. Emma slid into the passenger seat, clutching her phone and trying to ignore how intimate it felt, being in a stranger's car at 1 a.m. because she'd taken the wrong suitcase. The drive across the city was quiet. Ryan kept both hands on the wheel, eyes fixed ahead. Emma used her phone to search airport lost document, terminal services, and found paper airline counter, saving numbers and forms. Halfway there, Ryan's sister called. He answered on speaker. Maya. Ryan? A woman's voice snapped, sharp with exhaustion. Where are you? I'm on my way, he said. I had a situation at the airport. A situation? Maya repeated, disbelief and fear tangled together. Lily's been asking for you every 10 minutes. She won't let go of her blanket. I know, Ryan said, voice tight. I'm coming. 10 minutes. Who's with you? Maya asked, suddenly alert. Ryan hesitated. Emma felt her stomach drop again, this time for a different reason. I'm not alone, Ryan said carefully. A woman accidentally took my suitcase. She's helping me fix it. Silence. Then put her on, Maya said. Ryan glanced at Emma. She could have refused. She could have stayed invisible, made this easier. Instead, Emma leaned toward the phone. Hi, I'm Emma. I'm really sorry. I took the wrong suitcase, and I'm trying to make it right. Maya's voice sharpened. Are you the reason my brother's been gone for hours? Emma swallowed. I'm the reason he has his daughter's inhaler back, she said, steady now. And I'm the reason he has most of his paperwork. 1 page is missing. We're still looking. Another beat. Then Maya's tone shifted, still protective but less hostile. Just get here, she said, and don't drive like an idiot. The call ended. Ryan kept his eyes on the road. She's intense, he said. She's scared, Emma replied. So are you. He didn't deny it. They pulled into a quiet townhouse street. A porch light glowed. Ryan parked, and for the first time all night, he looked uncertain, like he was bracing for impact. Emma unbuckled. I'll stay in the car, she offered. Ryan's hand paused on the door handle. You don't have to. I don't want to make this harder, Emma said. Ryan looked at her, the tension in his face shifting into something else, an awareness he didn't seem ready to name. Then the front door opened. A little girl stood there in pajamas, clutching a blanket, small and tense in the doorway light. She saw Ryan. Her face changed instantly, relief, so powerful it almost looked like pain. Dad, she cried and ran. Ryan got out fast, dropping to one knee as she flew into his arms. He held her like he'd been afraid she might disappear. Emma watched from the passenger seat, throat tight, heart thudding with an emotion she hadn't expected to feel tonight. The girl clung to him, then pulled back just enough to look at his face. You're not late, she whispered, like she needed to confirm it. Ryan's voice broke on the first word. I'm here, Lil. From the doorway, Maya stepped out, arms crossed, eyes sharp. She looked past Ryan, straight at Emma in the car. And she didn't look confused. She looked suspicious. Maya filled the doorway like a guardrail, arms crossed, eyes sharp, sleep gone from her face. Ryan had Lily in his arms, her blanket wrapped around both of them. Emma, Ryan said quietly. She's the one who called. Maya's gaze stayed on Emma. So you're the suitcase. Emma stepped onto the porch, palms open. I grabbed the wrong bag at baggage claim. I didn't realize until I opened it and saw Lily's inhaler. I called right away. At the word inhaler, Maya's jaw eased a fraction. Inside, she said. The living room was small and lived in toy bins, crayons, a half-finished kid's puzzle on the floor. Lily slid down from Ryan's arms but didn't go far. She watched Emma like she was deciding if Emma belonged in the same world as her dad. Maya pointed at the couch. Explain, fast. Ryan did. Baggage claim, the yellow ribbon, the manila envelope, the missing custody signature page. He kept his voice controlled, but his hand never stopped rubbing the edge of Lily's blanket. Maya's eyes narrowed. One page. The page, Ryan said. If I walk in without it, my ex's lawyer will make it look like I'm careless. Again. Emma felt the weight of that last word, again, without needing the details. Lily wandered to the coffee table and lifted a crayon drawing. She held it out to Emma like an offering, a suitcase with a bright ribbon. Above it, shaky letters, Lucky Yellow. That ribbon is so Dad doesn't lose things, Lily said. Ryan gave a humorless breath, clearly. Lily tilted her head, serious. I helped. I put a gold star on your important paper, remember? The lucky page. Ryan froze. You did what? The last page, Lily insisted. Right next to your name. Emma's skin prickled. A gold star sticker on the signature page. Lily nodded hard, proud of herself. Maya looked between them. Good, that's a detail. That's something we can tell people to watch for. Ryan's shoulders sagged, relief and panic tangled together. We call terminal lost and found at opening. TSA 2, every desk, every number. Emma nodded. If someone picked it up, the star might keep it from being tossed. Her phone buzzed. She glanced down and went cold. Schedule update, final interview. Start time moved to 8:15 a.m. in person. No reschedule. It was 1:41. Ryan saw her face change. What happened? They moved it earlier, Emma said. I have to be there. Maya's voice snapped back into place. Then you go. You've already done enough. Emma hated how reasonable it sounded. She looked at Lily's pajama sleeves, at the way the little girl's fingers worried the blanket fringe even now. This wasn't just paperwork. It was a child's safety net. Ryan stood careful, like he didn't want to pressure her with his body. I'm not asking you to miss your life, he said. I just can't lose tomorrow. Emma swallowed. I won't miss it, she lied, then corrected herself. I'll try not to. I'll go back to my hotel, sleep a little, and start calling at 5. If we get a lead, I can move fast. Maya watched her, still guarded but quieter. You don't even know him. Emma met her eyes. I know what it feels like to need one thing to go right. Ryan's voice went rough. Thank you. Emma left before the moment could turn into something heavier. Back at the hotel, she laid out her interview clothes with shaking hands, then opened her folder to review, trying to force her mind into tomorrow. A single sheet slid out from behind her resume and fluttered onto the desk. Emma stared at the header, Ryan Carter. 2 signature lines, court language, and beside his name, small, faded, unmistakable, a gold star sticker. For a second, her brain refused to connect it. Then the night rewound in her memory, her hotel desk, the panic, the way she'd pulled items from Ryan's suitcase and spread them out, drawing, inhaler, envelope, anything that might tell her who to call. A loose page could have clung to her own papers, slipped into her folder when she scooped everything together. A mistake inside a mistake, hiding in plain sight. Her pulse slammed. She grabbed her phone and called Ryan. Straight to voicemail. His recorded message was tired and simple. You've reached Ryan. If this is about Lily, call Maya. Emma tried again. Same result. She typed a text with trembling thumbs. It's Emma. I found the signature page. Gold star. Call me ASAP. The message sent, but the silence after it felt enormous. Emma looked at the clock. 2:09 a.m. She looked at her suit hanging over the chair, the interview address on her calendar, the thin page on the desk that could decide a father's morning. She picked up the paper like it was fragile glass, folded it carefully, and slid it into a clean plastic sleeve from her portfolio, protecting it the way Lily would have wanted. Then she grabbed her coat. She had the page he needed, and an interview she couldn't afford to lose. Emma didn't let herself think about what this looked like. 2:30 in the morning, a taxi at the curb, one page in a plastic sleeve like it was evidence. She only thought about Lily's gold star and Ryan's voice when he'd said, "Tomorrow morning." Maya opened the door before Emma reached the steps, eyes sharp with sleepless worry. Emma lifted the sleeve. "I found it." Maya snatched it gently, scanning the header, the signatures, the little gold star near Ryan's name. Relief loosened her face, so fast it almost looked painful. "Ryan?" she called over her shoulder. "Down here? Now?" Ryan appeared on the stairs in sweatpants and a t-shirt, hair a mess, face drawn like he'd slept in broken pieces. When he saw Emma, he froze. "You came back." "I couldn't reach you," Emma said. "It was in my interview folder. I must have grabbed it by accident when I was panicking." Ryan took the sleeve with both hands and stared at the star for a long second, like he was seeing his daughter's small hand in it. Then he looked up at Emma. "You saved me," he said, voice rough. Emma shook her head fast. "I caused it." Maya cleared her throat, snapping them back into motion. "Fix mode. Call Ethan." Ryan dialed. The lawyer answered groggy, then sharpened awake the moment Ryan spoke. "I need the original by 7:30, Ethan Walsh said on speaker. "Bring it to my office on Wacker or meet me at the courthouse drop-off. If we don't file clean, opposing counsel will make you look reckless." Ryan's jaw clenched. "Opposing counsel is Claire's attorney." "Exactly," Ethan said, "and he loves procedural mistakes." Emma's stomach tightened at the name. Claire. The custody packet had been full of dense language, but one thing had been clear. This wasn't a casual disagreement. It was war, dressed in polite fonts. Ethan's tone shifted again, careful. "Chain of custody matters. If this page was separated, they'll argue tampering. Who found it?" Ryan's eyes went to Emma. "I did," Emma said, steady. "I can write a timeline. Tonight." Maya pointed at the kitchen table like it was a courtroom. Under warm light, Emma wrote a simple statement: baggage claim, hotel discovery, the call, the terminal search. The page found in her folder plain and factual. Her handwriting stayed neat, even though her hands wanted to shake. Maya signed as witness. Ryan slid the statement and the custody page into an envelope and didn't let go. A soft sound came from the hallway. Small feet. Lily appeared in the doorway, blanket dragging behind her, eyes sleepy and anxious. "Dad?" she whispered. Ryan's whole face changed. He crouched and opened his arms. Lily walked into him like she belonged there, like she'd been holding herself upright just to make it to this moment. "I'm here," he murmured into her hair. "I'm not going anywhere." Lily peeked over his shoulder and noticed Emma. Her gaze landed on the plastic sleeve still on the table. "Did you find the lucky page?" she asked. Emma swallowed. "We did." Lily nodded once, solemn, as if that settled something important in the world. "Good. Then you can sleep," she told her father, like she was granting permission. Maya exhaled through her nose, the closest thing to a laugh. "Okay. Everybody sleeps. Ryan leaves at dawn. Emma goes to her interview. Nobody touches that envelope except Ryan and Ethan." Emma stood, pulling on her coat. Her phone read 2:58 a.m. "Text me when Ethan has it," she said. "I will," Ryan promised. Back at the hotel, Emma barely slept. 2 hours of shallow rest. Then a shower and makeup that tried to erase the night. She dressed for the interview like it was the last solid thing she owned. At 6:31, her phone buzzed. "Ryan, Ethan has it. Thank you. Seriously." Emma closed her eyes, relief washing through her so hard her knees went weak for a second. She answered with one word, "Good," and forced herself into the next role. Candidate, calm, competent, ready. At 8, this is 7, she walked into Westbridge Health's downtown tower, portfolio tight to her chest. The lobby was all polished stone and quiet confidence. The receptionist checked her name and offered a professional smile. "They're ready for you, Miss Hart." Emma followed her down a hushed hallway and into a conference room. A woman in a tailored suit stood first, controlled and elegant, her expression unreadable in the way only lawyers mastered. A nameplate caught the light. Claire Bennett, General Counsel. Emma's blood went cold. The same name Ryan's lawyer had said like a warning. Claire's eyes lifted and locked onto Emma's face, sharp, assessing, and not remotely surprised, as if Emma wasn't just a candidate walking in, but a complication that had found its way into her morning. Emma kept her smile in place as the panel stood to greet her. Westbridge Health's conference room was all glass and quiet money, but the nameplate on the table was what made her stomach tighten. Claire Bennett, General Counsel. Claire's handshake was firm, her expression controlled. Emma had the strange sense Claire already knew her. The first half of the interview went the way Emma had hoped. Operations asked about process fixes, reducing delays, handling high-pressure teams. Emma answered cleanly, using simple examples, keeping her voice steady despite the 2 hours of sleep burning behind her eyes. The hiring manager nodded. HR smiled, taking notes. Then Claire leaned forward. "You relocated to Chicago," Claire said. "Why?" "A role like this," Emma replied, "and a fresh start." Claire's eyes stayed on her. "A fresh start," she repeated, as if it meant something different to her than it did to Emma. The questions moved on. Emma explained a workflow redesign. She described how she'd calmed conflict between departments without taking sides. She could feel the room warming to her until Claire spoke again. "Tell me about last night," Claire said. The hiring manager blinked. HR shifted in her chair. "Claire, I'm assessing reliability," Claire said smoothly. "Schedules change here. Emergencies happen. Ms. Hart still arrived on time." Emma chose her words carefully. "There was an unexpected travel mix-up. I handled it, then prepared for this meeting." "What kind of mix-up?" Claire asked. Emma kept her tone neutral. "A luggage mistake. It got resolved." Claire watched her for a beat too long, then nodded as if she'd confirmed something. The interview ended with polite handshakes and, "We'll be in touch." The hiring manager walked Emma toward the door, sounding genuinely pleased. Then Claire's voice followed them. "A moment, Ms. Hart. Alone." The door closed behind the others. Silence filled the room. Claire's warmth vanished. "Ryan Carter," she said. Emma's pulse jumped, but her face stayed calm. "I'm not sure why you're bringing up—" "Don't," Claire cut in, quiet and sharp. "My daughter's inhaler was in his suitcase. A document went missing. A woman brought him the signature page at 3 in the morning. Now that woman is sitting in my building, asking for a job." Emma's throat went dry. So Claire wasn't just a Westbridge executive, she was Lily's mother. "It was an accident," Emma said. "I grabbed the wrong suitcase. I returned what wasn't mine. I found a page in my folder and brought it back. That's it." Claire's eyes narrowed. "You met my child." "I saw her for seconds," Emma said. "She was safe. She was with family." Claire stepped closer, voice still controlled. "You don't understand what's at stake. Court isn't fair. It's optics. It's leverage. And strangers around my daughter become leverage." Emma held her ground. "I didn't choose your fight. I chose to fix my mistake." Claire's smile returned, cold and practiced. "If you want this position, you will keep your distance from Ryan. No calls, no visits, no more help." Emma stared at her. "You can't tie my employment to your personal demands." Claire's gaze didn't flicker. "I can influence decisions. I can raise concerns. I can make sure you never feel settled here. You wanted a fresh start, Ms. Hart. Don't make yourself the problem." Emma's hands curled around the edge of her portfolio. She pictured Lily's gold star, the blanket in her arms, the way she'd whispered, "You're not late." Emma's voice came out steady. "Do what you think you need to do," she said. "I'm not ashamed of returning an inhaler." As Emma reached the door, Claire added, almost casually, "And if you're smart, you won't become a witness." Emma walked out before her composure could crack. In the elevator, her phone buzzed. "Ryan, we have a problem." Claire filed an emergency motion. "They're saying Lily was exposed to an unknown adult last night." Emma stared at the message until the letters blurred. Unknown adult. As if she'd brought danger instead of medicine. She called Ryan. He picked up on the first ring, voice tight. "Ethan says they'll try to use you. They'll ask who you are, why you were there, what you saw. Claire wants to turn you into a headline." "I didn't do anything wrong," Emma whispered. "I know," Ryan said, "but that won't stop them." The elevator chimed at the lobby. Emma didn't move. Another buzz followed, this time a call. Unknown number. Her thumb hovered over the screen, and she knew, before she answered, that the snowball had just gotten heavier. The unknown number rang until Emma answered. "Emma Hart?" a man asked. "Yes. This is Victor Lane. I represent Claire Bennett." His voice was calm, almost polite. "We're requesting a written statement from you, immediately, and we advise you not to contact Mr. Carter." Emma's fingers tightened on the phone. "I returned a child's inhaler and a missing page," she said. "I was in Maya Carter's home for 2 minutes. Lily was safe, that's all." A small pause. "Then you admit you're involved?" "I admit I fixed a mistake," Emma replied. Victor's tone cooled. "If you continue, you may be subpoenaed. Be mindful that false statements carry consequences." Emma ended the call, staring at her own reflection in the elevator mirror, like she'd stepped into someone else's life. A new email popped up from Westbridge Health. Subject: update regarding your candidacy. Due to a newly discovered conflict of interest, we are pausing the hiring process for this role. Emma read it twice. The interview had barely ended. Claire hadn't even bothered to hide the power move. Ryan called. He sounded like he hadn't breathed since dawn. "Ethan wants to meet now." Claire filed an emergency motion. "They're saying Lily was exposed to an unknown adult. That's you." "She already had her lawyer call me," Emma said. Silence. Then Ryan, low, "I'm sorry." "You don't get to apologize for what she's doing," Emma said. "Text me where you are." Ethan Walsh's office was small and crowded with files. Ethan listened without blinking while Emma gave the timeline, then slid a notepad toward her. "Facts only," he said. "Times, locations, actions, no opinions." Ryan stood by the window, coffee untouched, jaw tight enough to ache. He looked at Emma like he was trying to decide whether to push her away or pull her closer, and he hated that he even had to choose. Ethan tapped the page. "There's a hearing at 9:30. Claire's attorney will argue Ryan showed poor judgment by bringing a stranger around Lily at midnight. If the judge buys it, Ryan loses overnights for months while we fight." Emma's throat went dry. "What do you need from me?" "A short statement," Ethan said. "And if the judge allows it, testimony. 2 points. The inhaler was returned, and Lily was with family, safe." Ryan shook his head once. "No, she shouldn't be in this." Ethan didn't soften. "Ryan, you don't get to be noble if it costs your daughter." Ryan's eyes dropped. When he spoke, it was almost a whisper. "Lily will blame herself. She already thinks she's the reason people get mad." Emma remembered Lily's voice at the door. "You're not late." Like minutes were the difference between safe and not safe. "I'll do it," Emma said. Ryan turned fast. "Emma, I'm not doing it for you," she said steady. "I'm doing it because the truth shouldn't sound dangerous." On the way to the courthouse, Ryan drove like he was trying to outrun the morning. The city slid past in gray streaks. At a red light, he finally spoke. "You came here for a job," he said, "for your own life." Emma kept her eyes forward. "And your daughter needs her life not to be turned into a story about unknown adults." Ryan's hands tightened on the wheel. "Claire will twist anything." "Then we don't give her anything to twist," Emma said. "We give facts." Ryan swallowed hard, and for a second his voice broke through the control. "I don't want you getting hurt because you were decent." Emma looked at him. "I don't want Lily getting hurt because her parents can't stop fighting." They reached the courthouse under a flat gray sky. Ethan met them near a bench and handed Emma a printed outline. "Stick to this. If they bait you, don't bite." Ryan stood beside Emma, close but careful, as if even warmth could be used against him. Then Claire appeared at the end of the hall with Victor Lane and a woman from Westbridge HR, badge clipped to her blazer. Claire's eyes locked on Emma. Victor's mouth curved like he'd expected this exact scene. The HR woman stepped forward and held out a folder. "Ms. Hart," she said softly, "we need you to sign an acknowledgement regarding confidentiality and conflict disclosure. And we need you to confirm in writing that you will not involve yourself in any matter connected to Ms. Bennett." Ethan moved between them. "She's here as a witness." The HR woman didn't blink. "So am I." A courtroom door opened behind them. A clerk called out, "Carter versus Bennett." And Claire smiled like she already knew what Emma would do next. The hallway outside courtroom 12 smelled like cheap coffee and wet coats. Emma stood with Ethan and Ryan while the courthouse hummed, lawyers rushing past, parents staring at the floor. A Westbridge HR rep held out a folder. "Ms. Hart, please sign this conflict acknowledgement. It protects the company." Ethan didn't take it. "She is not your employee." Claire Bennett watched from a few steps away, perfectly calm. Victor Lane, her attorney, stood beside her like a shadow. Emma kept her voice steady. "I won't sign anything that limits what I can say in court." The HR rep's smile tightened. "Then Westbridge will treat that as a refusal to comply." "Then treat it that way," Emma said. The courtroom door opened. Carter versus Bennett. Inside, the judge looked tired and allergic to drama. Victor spoke first, repeating the phrase "unknown adult" as if saying it enough times would make it true. Ethan stood. "This unknown adult returned the child's inhaler. The child was in her aunt's home, safe." Claire took the stand. Her tone was smooth, careful. "I'm asking for boundaries. Lily has asthma. Late nights and strangers create risk. I need stability." The judge turned to Ryan. "Did Ms. Hart go to your home with the child present?" "No, Your Honor," Ryan said. "I picked up my daughter. Ms. Hart did not come. Later she returned one missing page to my sister's house because I couldn't be reached." The judge's eyes moved to Emma. "Ms. Hart, you're here voluntarily?" "Yes." "Then speak." Emma stood and kept it simple. "I took the wrong suitcase at baggage claim. I realized at my hotel because I found an inhaler and a child's drawing. I called Mr. Carter and met him at the airport to return it. We discovered a signed page was missing. We searched public areas of the terminal. Then he left to pick up his daughter. I returned to my hotel." Victor's voice stayed polite but sharp. "And you went to the Carter home at 3 a.m.? "Yes," Emma said. "Because I found the missing signature page in my interview folder. It must have stuck to my papers when I was sorting items at the hotel. I returned it immediately. The child was with her aunt. I stayed briefly." Victor leaned in. "So you were simply being kind?" Ethan rose. "Objection." The judge waved him down. "Answer." Emma met Victor's eyes. "I was correcting my mistake," she said, "and returning a child's medication, nothing more." Silence settled. The judge flipped through the file, then looked up. "I'm not granting emergency restrictions based on speculation," he said, "but I will set temporary guidelines. No late-night exchanges involving third parties. And Ms. Bennett, do not use outside influence to pressure this case." Claire's expression didn't change, but her fingers tightened around her pen. "It's mediation next week," the judge added. "This court wants stability for Lily, not strategy." Outside the courtroom, Ryan finally breathed. Maya appeared down the hall with Lily bundled in a coat. Lily ran to Ryan, then spotted Emma and walked straight over. Before Emma could step back, Lily hugged her around the waist. "Thank you for the lucky page," she whispered into Emma's coat. Emma's throat tightened. "You're welcome." Claire watched the hug happen, face composed, eyes cold. Maya leaned close to Emma. "Don't let her scare you." Emma's phone buzzed. A new email. "Update regarding your candidacy. Due to a conflict of interest, we are closing the role." Ryan saw her face change. "What is it?" They killed the job, Emma said quietly. Westbridge. Ryan's jaw set. Because of Claire. Emma nodded once. I came here because my last fiancé borrowed my help until I realized he was really borrowing my future. I promised myself I'd stop cleaning up other people's damage. Ryan's eyes softened and his voice dropped. I promised Lily I'd stop making her feel like she's the reason adults fall apart. Emma looked at him. I'm not fixing your life, she said. I'm just not okay letting the truth get twisted. For a second, the space between them felt dangerously honest. Then a courthouse officer approached with a folder. Emma Hart? Yes. You've been served, he said, handing her papers. Deposition notice, Bennett's counsel. Emma stared at the header. Ryan's face went hard. And Claire, without turning around, said softly, now you're officially involved. Ethan's voice was low behind them. Don't speak to her lawyer alone, he warned. They'll try to turn you into a story. Emma folded the papers with careful hands, realizing the snowball still wasn't done. The deposition notice sat on Ethan Walsh's desk like a polite threat. Emma read the header twice and still felt the same thing. One wrong suitcase had turned into something that could follow her for years. They want you tired, Ethan said. Tired people fill silence. Don't. Facts only. Short answers. If you don't know, say you don't know. Ryan stood by the window, shoulders tight. She shouldn't be here, he said. Emma's voice stayed even. I'm already here. Ethan slid a single page toward her, a simple timeline. Memorize the order. Airport, hotel, call, return inhaler, search, Lily with Maya, signature page found, returned immediately. That's the spine. Don't let them bend it. Outside, Ryan walked Emma to his car like it mattered. If you want to walk away after this, I'll understand, he said. I didn't come to Chicago to be scared into disappearing, Emma replied. Before the deposition, Ryan took her to his cafe, still closed, lights low. Lily sat at a corner table with crayons. She held up a drawing, 3 stick figures, a suitcase with a bright yellow ribbon, and one careful word, found. Because you found the lucky page, Lily said. Emma swallowed. I'm glad it made it back. Ryan watched his daughter for a second, then looked at Emma. This was supposed to be my mess, he said quietly. Emma met his eyes. Then let me tell the truth. That's all I'm doing. The deposition room was smaller than court and colder. No judge, just a recorder, Victor Lane's calm voice, and Claire Bennett sitting so still she looked untouchable. Victor's questions started gentle, then sharpened. Ms. Hart, you went to the Carter home late at night. It was Maya Carter's home, Emma said. Yes. You knew Lily was there. I knew she was safe with her aunt, Emma replied. You agree a stranger around an asthmatic child creates risk. Ethan objected. Emma waited for the nod, then answered flatly. Returning her inhaler reduced risk. Victor tried another angle. How did the signature page accidentally end up with you? Emma explained the hotel panic. Papers sticking, her interview folder. It had a gold star sticker, she added. Lily put it on the page. That's how I recognized it. Victor's pen paused. Claire's fingers tightened one small crack. When it ended, Emma walked out feeling wrung out and strangely clear. The truth had held. Ryan was waiting in the hall, hands shoved into his pockets like he didn't trust them. You okay? He asked. I didn't give them anything, Emma said. Claire stepped out behind Victor and stopped just close enough to be heard. You keep showing up, she said to Emma, soft and sharp. Emma didn't flinch. I keep returning what isn't mine. Ryan's voice went low. Claire, stop. Claire's eyes slid to him. Be careful, she said. You're calling chaos kindness. That night, Ryan closed the cafe early. He sat alone with his suitcase in front of him, the yellow ribbon bright against the black handle. He took a plain luggage tag and wrote slowly. Lost things can be found. People too. He tied the tag to the ribbon, stared at it until his chest ached, then texted Emma one line. Gate 5, 7:15, please. Emma arrived under the canopy where they'd first met, rain misting the pavement. Ryan stood with his suitcase at his feet, ribbon shining under the lights. "I can't undo what Claire did to your job," he said, "but I can make sure you don't lose your future because you did the right thing." He handed her a printed email, an introduction to an operations director across town who wanted to meet her. "Tomorrow," Ryan said, "if you want it." Emma stared at the page, stunned. "Ryan, I'm not trying to buy you," he said, voice tight. "I'm trying to return what you lost." He lifted the suitcase by the yellow ribbon and held it out, read the tag. Emma's fingers found the leather. Her eyes moved across the words, and something in her face softened, then fought to stay steady. Ryan's voice dropped. "Stay in Chicago, Emma. Not for court, not to fight her. Stay because you made my life feel possible again." Emma opened her mouth, but her phone buzzed in her pocket. A voicemail from a recruiter she'd spoken to before Chicago, before any of this. She listened, then lowered the phone slowly. Ryan watched her, hope tightening into fear. "They're offering me a job," Emma said, barely above the rain. "In Boston. I start Monday." The canopy lights flickered above them. The yellow ribbon stirred in the wind like a small, stubborn signal, waiting for Emma to choose which future was real. Emma didn't answer right away. The rain misted the air under the canopy, and the noise of cars pulling in and out filled the silence between them like static. "Boston," Ryan repeated, like the word had weight. "Monday." Emma nodded once, throat tight. "It's a good job, real salary, benefits, a clean start." Ryan's hands stayed in his pockets, but his shoulders shifted like he'd taken a hit he couldn't show. "You deserve that," he said, and meant it. Emma looked down at the suitcase tag in her hand. "Lost things can be found. People too." The words felt too simple for how much they did to her chest. "I didn't plan this," she said, "any of it." "I know," Ryan said. She took a slow breath. "I came to Chicago because I needed to stop being the person who fixes everything for someone else and calls it love. My last relationship, I kept adjusting my life to make his life easier. And one day, I realized my future had been postponed so many times, it didn't feel like mine anymore." Ryan listened without interrupting, eyes steady, like he'd learned how important it was to let someone finish. "And then," Emma continued, voice quieter, "I take the wrong suitcase, and suddenly I'm back in the exact same pattern, doing favors, getting pulled into someone else's mess, losing the job I came for." Ryan's jaw tightened. "I never wanted you to lose anything." "I believe you," she said quickly. "That's what makes it confusing. You didn't ask. You didn't use me. You didn't chase me when you could have." A small, strained breath left him, "Because I'm terrified of being the reason someone leaves." Emma looked up at the canopy lights, blinking hard. "Boston is the safe choice," she admitted. "Chicago feels like standing in the middle of traffic and hoping the cars stop." Ryan took one step closer, then stopped himself, like he was trying to respect a line he couldn't see. "If you go," he said, "I won't call. I won't guilt you. I won't make you the villain in my daughter's story. You'll be the woman who returned her inhaler. That's all." That should have made it easier. It didn't. Emma's phone buzzed again. Another voicemail, then a text. "Maya, Lily won't sleep. She keeps asking if Emma's suitcase is coming tomorrow." Emma's chest tightened at the phrase, Emma's suitcase, like she'd become a category of safety. She typed back with shaking thumbs, "Tell her I'm here. I'll talk to her tomorrow." Ryan watched her, reading her face. What did Maya say? Emma hesitated. "Lily made me into a thing that means it'll be okay, and I hate that because it's not fair to her." Ryan's voice went rough. "She's a kid. She attaches to stability. She attaches to people who show up." Emma swallowed. "And what if I can't keep showing up?" Ryan's eyes held hers. "Then don't promise what you can't give," he said. "But don't leave because someone scared you." The wind shifted. The yellow ribbon fluttered, bright against the black suitcase. Emma stared at it and saw the whole chain of events like a line of dominoes. One small reach at baggage claim, and everything that followed. She hadn't been looking for love. She'd been looking for control, and the universe had handed her a mistake instead. Can I see Lily tomorrow? Emma asked. Ryan's face softened, surprised. Yes. Emma nodded as if that settled the first piece. Then, I'll decide after. The next morning, Emma stood at the entrance of Ryan's cafe before it opened. The sun was pale and winter-thin. Inside, Ryan was at a table with Lily, helping her color. Maya stood by the counter with a coffee, watching like a hawk. Lily spotted Emma and slid off the chair, blanket in hand. She didn't run this time. She walked with serious purpose, like she'd been practicing bravery. Hi, Lily said. Hi, Emma replied, crouching to Lily's height. Lily held up a new drawing. It was a suitcase with a yellow ribbon. Next to it was a stick figure girl. Above, in uneven letters, "You came back." Emma's throat tightened. You're a really good artist. Lily's eyes stayed on Emma's face. Are you leaving? The question hit like a fist because it was so direct. Maya shifted, ready to intervene. Ryan went still. Emma kept her voice gentle. I might have to go for work, she said. But if I go, it won't be because of you. Lily frowned, processing. Because of the fighting? Emma glanced at Ryan, then back to Lily. Because grown-ups make complicated choices, but you didn't do anything wrong. Lily stared at her blanket fringe, then looked up. Dad says I didn't, she whispered, but sometimes he looks sad. Ryan's eyes flicked away, like he couldn't stand being seen that clearly. Emma felt something settle inside her, an old instinct to fix, yes, but also something newer, a desire to be honest even when it was hard. She stood slowly and faced Ryan. Can we talk outside? She asked. Ryan followed her to the sidewalk. The air was cold enough to sting. I listened to the Boston offer, Emma said. It's real. It's safe. Ryan nodded once, swallowing. You should take it. Emma's eyes held his. I asked them one question, she said. If I wanted to start in 3 weeks instead of Monday, would they do it? Ryan's breath caught. And they said yes, Emma said, if I signed today. Ryan looked at her like he didn't trust the world anymore. Emma, I'm not staying because I want to be pulled into court, she said firm. I'm staying because I want to make a decision without fear in it, and because I want to see if what I feel around you is real, when things aren't on fire. Ryan's throat worked. It's always on fire, he said quietly. Then we build something that isn't, Emma replied. Behind them, the cafe door opened and Maya stepped out, arms crossed. Before you two make it a movie, she said, you should know something. Ryan's face tightened. Maya. I didn't tell you because you were already drowning, Maya continued, looking at Emma. But Claire called Westbridge HR because she wanted to kill your job. That part you know. What you don't know is she also called the Boston recruiter. Emma went still. What? Maya's jaw clenched. Claire's lawyer has friends. They didn't cancel your offer. They just rushed it. They wanted to force you to leave before mediation. Emma's hands went cold. So Boston was a shove, Maya said, not fate. Emma looked at Ryan, and something fierce rose in her chest. She tried to move me like a chess piece. Ryan's voice was low, dangerous in a quiet way. I'm done letting her do that. Maya held up a phone. Also, she added, Claire just texted me. She wants to renegotiate mediation terms. She's willing to drop the unknown adult angle completely if Ryan agrees to a schedule change. Ryan's eyes narrowed. Why now? Maya's mouth tightened because her attorney listened to your deposition and because a judge warned her not to use outside influence. She's trying to look cooperative before it bites her. Emma exhaled slowly. So what happens now? Ryan stared past them at the street, then back at Emma. Now, he said, I stop fighting to win and start fighting to end it. A week later, mediation took place in a bland office that felt designed to drain emotion from the walls. Claire sat with Victor, polished and controlled. Ryan sat with Ethan, steady but tense. Emma was not inside the room, but she was close, waiting in the hallway with Maya and Lily's gold star, drawing folded carefully in her bag like a talisman. Hours passed. Doors opened. Voices shifted. At one point, Ethan stepped out and gave Emma a small nod. Things were moving. At sunset, the mediator finally emerged, followed by Ryan. He looked exhausted, but his shoulders were lighter. Maya stood immediately. Well? Ryan let out a breath that sounded like someone stepping out of deep water. We have an agreement, he said. Shared schedule, clear rules, no more late-night weaponizing, and his eyes flicked to Emma. No restrictions on who I can have around Lily as long as it's reasonable and safe. Emma felt her knees go weak. So, it's done. It's not perfect, Ryan said, but it's stable. Claire walked out behind him. Her face was composed, but her eyes were tired. She glanced at Emma once, then looked away like she'd decided not to fight that battle anymore. Emma didn't feel triumph, she felt relief. Outside, Ryan found Emma by the window. The city lights blinked on one by one as evening settled. I didn't expect you to still be here, he said quietly. Emma smiled faintly. I didn't expect to be. He pulled something from his pocket, the same leather luggage tag, the same yellow ribbon tied around it, but this time the tag was blank. Ryan held it out. Write whatever you want, he said. No pressure. Just, if you want a place in this story, make it yours. Emma stared at it for a long moment. Then she took a pen from her bag and wrote slowly, carefully, not lost, just rerouted. She handed it back. Ryan read it, and his face softened in a way that made Emma's chest ache. Months later, Emma stood at an airport counter again, this time with a new suitcase and a new kind of calm. Ryan stood beside her, Lily between them, gripping a small backpack with a tiny gold star on the zipper. Emma checked the tags twice, then laughed at herself. Ryan leaned close. Still nervous? A little, Emma admitted. Lily looked up, serious. Don't worry, she said. You have the lucky ribbon now. Emma glanced at Ryan. Do I? Ryan's hand found hers warm and steady. You do, he said, and we're not late. Emma smiled, feeling the strange truth of it settle into her bones. She had tried to fix a small mistake, and it had turned into the best thing that ever happened to her.
If this story touched you, please leave a like. It helps this channel grow more than you know. And don't forget to subscribe for more emotional stories like this one.